It's the Quiet Storm on Hot 1077. And you know, we got a big jazz fest coming September 17th, the Preserve Jazz Fest in Hoover. You know, we've got several great artists that are going to be performing, and I've got one on the phone right now. Birmingham, give a big welcome to Philadelphia's own Gerald Veasley. How are you doing tonight, Gerald?
Doing great, Orlando. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Well, listen, you know, we got the fest coming up, Preserve Jazz Fest. How amped are you about playing here in Birmingham?
I'm really excited. It's been a long time since I've been in Birmingham, and what a great region. I mean, it's such a region, it's such a rich history, and you know, there are a lot of great music lovers of all genres. And the band that I'm bringing down there is nothing short of spectacular. Some awesome musicians who happen to be my friends, Kelly Minucci on guitar, Alex Bugnon, one of the world's leading pianists, Chris Farr, longtime associate on saxophone, and one of the most dynamic drummers you'd ever want to hear, Tommy Campbell. And we're doing a salute, speaking of history, to a lot of the legends who helped create the art form that we call jazz fusion. People like Chick Corea, Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, Joe Zawinul.
Man, that is awesome. I think you guys call yourselves the Masters of Fusion.
Yes, it's a little bit of a misnomer because we started off with a rather long and unwieldy name honoring the Masters of Fusion.
Okay.
Because we actually try to represent that great music that we heard, and we wanted to honor their legacy. But it just became a little too long, so we shortened it to Masters of Fusion.
Okay,
but we we consider ourselves students of the art form, even though we've had long solo careers ourselves. But it's the kind of music where you never ever stop growing or learning.
Absolutely. You know, there's always something to learn, and that's good that you guys know that. Well, listen, let's talk just quickly about you. Growing up in Philadelphia, I think you were influenced by gospel and R&B. What was it that turned you toward jazz?
It's fascinating. I heard a lot of R&B and gospel in the household because of the music that my family loved, and had a great mentor and influence in Ira Tucker, who was one of the original members of the world famous Dixie Hummingbirds. So,
oh yeah,
with that great gospel quartet tradition, played in the studio with him as a young man and listened to that music. But somewhere along the line, I discovered a jazz record in the house.
Yeah.
A record that I'm sure many of your listeners know, Miles Davis's "Kind of Blue."
Absolutely,
and that
man.
record just blew my mind. It was so beautiful and elegant, and I heard a lot of other Miles music, and the great Wes Montgomery, the guitarist, who was very, very lyrical and soulful. And so that kind of piqued my interest, and I started playing along with those records as a kid of, I don't know, maybe 14 years old, and trying to learn about jazz, and never looked back.
Awesome, man. You know, you named some legends there, and I even see a little Earth, Wind, and Fire in the mix as far as an influence.
Well, absolutely. Well, during that time, growing up toward the end of the 60s and into the 70s, you had bands like Earth, Wind, and Fire who were very influential, both in terms of their compositions, their arrangements, the stage show, how dynamic they were. So that was very, very exciting. And Berdine White, the bass player, was someone who I emulated because he was such an exciting showman. So yeah, some of my early bands, I actually had my first band when I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And actually started teaching other people to play when I was around 15. So, I don't know, I always had this bug to try to help other people and coach other people and teach other people. So I've been leading bands and doing that sort of thing for a long time. But bands like Earth, Wind, and Fire, musicians like Jimi Hendrix, I listened to, a lot of blues artists. But again, as I evolved, jazz just grabbed more and more of my imagination, and I had the great fortune of working with two legends in my career, among many. The great Grover Washington Jr. I was in his band for a number of years, and the great Joe Zawinul, who was the founder of the band Weather Report.
Yes.
So both these men had a profound influence on me as artists, as composers, and as band leaders.
Gerald, that is awesome. Well, listen, are there any new projects you got going on right now? Anything we need to know about or look out for?
Well, look out for my contemporary jazz CD, which will come out in the beginning of 2017. It's been a while since I've released a smooth jazz or contemporary jazz project. The last one was produced by the great Chuck Loeb, and this one will include a lot of compositions by myself and a lot of my collaborators. So this will be fun. It'll be also dedicated to my home city of Philadelphia. The Masters of Fusion project, which we've been talking about, which
Yes.
is playing coming up really soon. Man, it came up so quickly. Playing on the 17th down there in Hoover. We'll be going into the studio too, so look for that.
Oh, man, that is awesome. Okay, listen, Gerald, before we let you go, tell the folks what to expect when you hit that stage, Preserve Jazz Festival, September the 17th. Tell them what to expect when you get on that stage, if they've never heard you before.
Absolutely. So the band that we're presenting, the Masters of Fusion project, is very exciting. We're part of a movement, actually, of musicians that created jazz that would not just be something that was intellectual and something for the head, but something the body could move to. It's a music that's very funky. It has some rock influences. It is truly, in my estimation, one of the ultimate forms of music because it combines so many styles. And so we're true to that. We believe in presenting a lot of energy when we play. Everyone gets a chance to express their individual voice. And it's the kind of music that also folks will recognize some of the pieces. Even if they don't know the names of the composers, they'll hear things that they're very familiar with stylistically and musically. So I'm excited. And these gentlemen that I'm collaborating with are really among the very best at what they do.
Yes, they are. Gerald Veasley, man, I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, coming September 17th, Preserve Jazz Festival, Gerald Veasley. Thank you so much for just taking a few minutes to talk with us. And once again, I can't wait.
Orlando, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'll see you soon. And thank you so much for allowing me to talk to your listeners.
You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.